ever feel like a broken record, like you're saying the same things over and over again?
Oh, tell me about it.
Wouldn't it be great if we could just program that stuff, have AI handle those repetitive bits for us? Like, imagine if every email could automatically include a professional sign-off, or every time you chat with an AI assistant, it reinforces a key message.
It's more than just convenience, though, right? The consistency is actually super important for how people experience things, especially in our world, where we're just bombarded with information constantly.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So today, we're really diving into a cool technique that promises to do exactly that. It's called the Always Include prompt, and we learned about it from the Generative AI Professional Prompt Engineering Guide by George Tome.
Great book.
So what's the gist? What's the big idea behind this Always Include thing?
Basically, it lets you embed specific content into every single response the AI generates. It's like setting this ground rule, this expectation for your AI. No matter what, always add this at the end.
So it's like training your AI to automatically tack on a phrase or like a disclaimer or even a call to action every single time.
You got it. And, don't underestimate that consistency. It can be surprisingly powerful. Think about a brand like Apple.
Okay, yeah.
Their whole thing is about consistency, right?
Yeah.
Their messaging, their design, even the way their products feel, it all adds up to this sense of trust and familiarity.
You just know what to expect when you see that Apple logo.
Exactly. And that principle applies to how we interact with AI too. Consistent messaging builds that same sense of reliability, like, okay, this AI knows what it's doing. And that's huge, whether you're trying to build a brand, make sure everything's legal, or just make the user experience smoother.
So you're basically laying the foundation for a strong, recognizable identity for your AI.
Exactly.
But I'm curious, how does this actually work in the real world? Give me an example.
Sure. Let's say you run an online store, right?
Yeah.
Instead of just giving a customer the shipping times, your AI could add something like, and don't forget to check out our latest deals.
It's like that little extra nudge to take action.
Exactly. You're not just adding words, you're prompting specific actions or behaviors. You're subtly influencing how people interact with your AI.
It's like you're gently guiding them through their experience. And, in the book, there's this fascinating example using an online learning platform.
Oh, right.
Imagine after every lesson, the AI just slips in a motivational quote, like a little boost.
I love that. It really shows how versatile this technique is. I mean, you could have legal documents with disclaimers automatically added, or health apps that reinforce good habits. The possibilities are huge.
Okay, my mind is officially blown. This is amazing. This all sounds so powerful, but I have to ask, where do we even begin if we want to actually use this ourselves?
Well, luckily, the guide lays out a really clear process, a step-by-step to creating your own Always Include prompts.
All right, so break it down for me. Step 1.
First, figure out the context. Ask yourself, where do I absolutely need this consistent messaging? What specific information or action do I want to be in every single response in this situation?
So going back to your online store example, the context would be those customer interactions, and the action would be encouraging product reviews, maybe.
Exactly. You nailed it. Okay, next up, you have to figure out the exact content, the precise wording of that message or that call to action. It's got to be short, catchy, and fit with your overall goal.
Right, because a long, boring message could actually backfire, right?
Absolutely.
So we've got our message. What's next?
Now it's time to get a little technical and actually structure the prompt. But don't worry. The guide gives you a basic template you can adapt.
So it's not just a one-size-fits-all kind of thing. There's room to customize.
Absolutely. Customization is key here. You've got to tailor the Always Include prompt to your specific needs, make sure it flows naturally with the conversation, and sounds right for the situation.
Okay, now this is where it gets really cool. We're not just slapping on the same old message every single time. We're crafting it for maximum impact.
It really is like composing a symphony, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to consider each element carefully, make sure it contributes to the overall harmony.
I like that. Okay, so we've got our context figured out. We've crafted our message. We've even structured the prompt itself. Are we done? Can we unleash our AI masterpiece on the world?
Almost. We've got one more crucial step. And it's all about reviewing and refining. You can't just set it and forget it, You got to keep an eye on how people respond to your carefully crafted additions.
Right, because what we think sounds good might not actually land with the audience.
Exactly. It's all about gathering data, looking at the feedback, and being open to tweaking things. Maybe a more conversational tone works better. Or you need to adjust your call to action.
It's a constant dance, really, observing and adjusting, figuring out what really resonates. As you're talking, it occurs to me that this could be really useful for internal communication too, not just customer-facing stuff.
Absolutely. Think about onboarding new employees, right? Every response from the company's knowledge base could include a little something extra, like, need more help, don't hesitate to reach out to your mentor.
It's like subtly reinforcing that support system without being too in your face.
Exactly. Or think about subtly reminding people about company culture, or even ethical guidelines, like a gentle nudge about data security after someone requests confidential information.
It's like you're weaving these important messages into the very fabric of how people communicate, which is so much better than annoying pop-ups or having to spell it out every single time.
It's about finding that sweet spot where the guidance is helpful but not intrusive. But, we've got to be realistic. Even with the best intentions, there's always the potential for things to go a little sideways.
Really? Like what? I'm honestly having trouble imagining how this could backfire.
Okay, picture this. You've got a customer who's already frustrated because they're having a tech issue, and every single response from your AI ends with a cheerful, "Don't forget to check out our latest deals."
Oh yeah, I see your point. Not exactly the best way to win over someone who's already annoyed.
Right. Context is crucial here. A message that delights one user might completely turn off another. We need to be mindful of not just what we're saying, but when we're saying it, and to whom.
That makes a lot of sense. So even though the always include prompt can be really powerful for engagement, it takes some finesse, right? You need a deep understanding of your audience and a good dose of empathy.
100%. And that's why no matter how advanced AI gets, that human element is still crucial. We need to design these interactions with empathy, be willing to learn and adapt to make sure everyone has a good experience.
This reminds me of something else the guide talked about, combining the always include prompt with other prompt engineering techniques. It's like we're building up this whole toolbox of AI tricks to create interactions that are truly unique and engaging. It's like we're composing a symphony, not just playing a single note. We're layering different techniques to create something richer and more nuanced.
Perfect analogy. Imagine combining the always include with something like a tone changer prompt.
A tone changer. Now, what's that when it's at home?
Well, it does pretty much what it says on the tin. With a tone changer, you can actually control the tone of the AI's responses. So instead of always getting the same tone, you can switch it up, make it more formal, more casual, even a bit playful, depending on what's appropriate for the situation.
Now that you mention it, I have noticed that some AIs definitely have more personality than others. Like some are very formal and to the point, while others feel almost, I don't know, friendly.
Exactly. And that's what's so cool about combining that with the always include. It's like, remember that online store example we were talking about? Instead of just having that generic, don't forget to check out our latest deals, tacked onto every response, we can make it smarter, more context aware.
Okay, now you've got me really intrigued. Give me a scenario, paint me a picture.
All right, so let's say a customer is really excited about a new product. They're gushing about it in the chat. The AI, because it's so smart now, picks up on that enthusiasm, right? So when it includes that always include message, it uses a similar kind of upbeat tone, like, don't miss out on our launch discount. It's a steal.
Ah, I see where you're going with this. But what if the customer was, say, a bit unsure, or maybe even a little frustrated?
Exactly. In that case, the AI could go with a more toned-down approach, something more empathetic, like, we're here to help if you have any questions. Our team is standing by.
So it's like we're giving the AI emotional intelligence, teaching it to read the room and then adjust how it communicates based on those cues.
Spot on. And that, I think, is the really exciting thing about all of this prompt engineering stuff. We're not just automating responses, we're actually shaping entire experiences. We're using AI to make those experiences smoother, more engaging, and ultimately more human.
This has been such an amazing conversation. We started with a pretty simple idea that always include prompt, and somehow we've ended up exploring the very heart of what it means to communicate in this age of AI.
And the crazy thing is, we've only just scratched the surface. As we get better at these techniques and start mixing and matching them in creative ways, who knows what incredible things we'll be able to do.
It's both exciting and a little bit daunting, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. But it's a good reminder that as amazing as AI is, it's still just a tool, right?
Yeah.
And how we use that tool, well, that's up to us.
So true. Well, as we all venture further into this wild world of AI-powered communication, let's all try to do it thoughtfully, ethically, and always remember, we want to enhance those uniquely human connections, not replace them.
Couldn't agree more.
This has been fantastic. And for everyone listening, remember, the always include prompt is just one tool in a growing AI toolkit. So stay curious, don't be afraid to experiment, and see what amazing things you can achieve. Until next time, keep exploring the incredible world of AI.